XRP holders, stay alert because what's happening on the chart right now is critical. This isn't a normal sideways move. This is XRP tightening into a pressure zone that only forms before a violent breakout. And if you zoom in on the live candles, you can see exactly how the market is behaving. Every dip being bought instantly, every wick being absorbed, every push down being rejected, showing that buyers are quietly taking control even while the market looks calm on the surface. The liquidity sitting above the current range is building like dynamite, and XRP has already tapped the same resistance multiple times today without falling, which is the biggest clue of all, because when resistance weakens like this, it only takes one strong candle to blow straight through it and trigger a breakout that wipes out all the short positions stacked above this zone. But what's even more interesting is the momentum shift underneath the chart. RSI is turning upward, volume is rising at the lows, and the 4-hour structure is forming a tight ascending triangle, a pattern that historically leads to explosive upward moves for XRP, especially when the market is this compressed. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is moving slowly, not dominating, not dragging the market, which is exactly the environment where XRP likes to move independently. And you can see that independence in the way XRP refuses to break structure, even when BTC pulls back slightly, meaning XRP strength is internal, not borrowed. Watch the live price reaction right now. These micro pulls are not bearish signs. They are liquidity grabs, quick stop hunts meant to shake out weak traders before the bigger move starts. And the fact that XRP keeps bouncing back immediately shows that smart money is preparing something significant. The dollar index is cooling down, global risk sentiment is improving, and altcoin liquidity is slowly rotating back into XRP. All signals that today's move could become the start of a bigger shift. So as we watch these candles form live, understand that XRP is sitting in a launch zone, a zone where hesitation disappears and momentum takes over once the breakout candle hits. And if that breakout comes with real volume, XRP will push straight to the next psychological level without looking back, leaving late traders chasing the move and early holders in full control. This is not the moment to blink. XRP is preparing for a direction right now, and when it fires, the entire chart will change instantly. XRP traders, stay locked in, because what's happening right now on the live chart is the type of market setup that only appears before explosive moves. And as we watch this candle by candle action unfold, it becomes very clear that XRP is not trading like a weak asset. It's trading like a coiled spring that's tightening harder with every small dip, every wick, every fake push from sellers who think they're in control, but the structure says otherwise. And the structure is screaming accumulation, because every time price dips, buyers step in aggressively, absorbing liquidity, defending key zones, and refusing to let XRP break down into deeper territory, which means the market is showing you the truth, even when social media is full of fear, doubts, and noise. When you zoom into the 1H chart, it's obvious that XRP is forming a rising pressure base, a sequence of higher lows that is one of the strongest signals of hidden bullish momentum. And this higher low structure is not accidental. It is a sign that smart money is preparing for the next expansion phase, and expansion always comes after compression. And right now, XRP is compressed so tightly that a breakout is not if, it's when, and that when is getting closer by the hour. Watch the liquidity behavior. You have liquidity pools sitting above the last swing high, liquidity sitting below the local support, and XRP is now crawling toward the topside liquidity, which is exactly what a pair does before a breakout, because smart money always hunts liquidity to generate the volume needed for expansion. And XRP is slowly tilting upward, edge by edge, candle by candle, gathering that liquidity. Volume is low, but this is the type of low volume consolidation that precedes a violent move. And today's order flow shows tiny absorption candles at the lows, which means every time sellers push down, their positions are being swallowed instantly by buyers who are building a base, laying a foundation for the upside move. And that foundation is getting stronger as long as XRP holds above the mid-zone support. When we look at the 4 hours chart, the story becomes even clearer. XRP is forming a rounded accumulation pattern, a bowl-shaped structure that historically leads into vertical moves. And this rounding pattern is extremely important because it signals a shift in control from sellers to buyers. And when buyers tighten control in a market that's been stuck for days or weeks, the coil becomes dangerous. And that danger erupts into a breakout that catches everyone off guard. Even the daily chart supports this live movement because daily candles are refusing to break their lower levels, meaning the higher time frame trend is protecting the price, reinforcing the bullish pressure beneath the surface. And when higher time frame structure matches lower time frame compression, the breakout probability becomes extremely high. Right now, XRP is doing exactly what it does before its biggest moves. It goes silent, it goes boring, it goes sideways, and then suddenly one candle breaks the whole range and triggers a massive liquidity sweep that sends the market flying. And this phase we're watching right now is the silence before that storm. The market is communicating. Look at the wicks, long downside wicks appearing again and again. And these wicks are not random. They are footprints, signs that buyers are stepping in every time the market tests the lower levels. And those footprints tell us that the downside is weak. The selling is weak. The bearish narrative is weak because real bearish power would break the structure easily. And it's not happening. Instead, XRP is tightening, squeezing, and preparing to break the upper resistance. And that resistance is weakening because every retest takes liquidity away. Every touch weakens the zone, and soon one candle will break it cleanly. And when that breakout happens, expect a strong move. No slow grind, no hesitation. XRP doesn't break structure gently. It does it aggressively, slamming into the next zone with force, trapping sellers, triggering liquidations, and flipping market sentiment instantly. Even Bitcoin's behavior today is supporting the XRP breakout scenario because BTC is showing indecision and sideways action. And when Bitcoin slows down, altcoins like XRP get room to breathe and build independent momentum, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. XRP is no longer following Bitcoin tick for tick. It is building its own structure, forming its own pattern, carving its own breakout path. And whenever XRP decouples slightly from Bitcoin in a compression phase, that's when we see the wild moves that nobody is prepared for. Indicators are also aligning. RSI is showing hidden bullish divergence. Volume profile is showing a massive gap above resistance that XRP can slice through quickly if it triggers the breakout. And the moving averages are curling up, preparing for a bullish cross that often signals the start of a new momentum wave. The market sentiment around XRP right now is sleeping. And that's exactly when this asset moves hardest, because XRP historically moves when people least expect it, when the chart looks quiet, when the market looks neutral, and when traders are bored. That's when XRP delivers one of those vertical candles that shocks everyone. And as we analyze this chart live, you can literally feel the pressure building because XRP is not rejecting the highs. It's not rolling over. It's not losing structure. It is grinding upward, building energy, and showing all the signs of a pair that is about to enter an expansion phase. And expansion always starts from a compression base, exactly like this one. This is the phase where traders need to stay laser focused because the breakout is not going to wait for anyone. Once volume hits, the candle will move fast, the market will react violently, and the entire sentiment will flip bullish instantly. XRP right now is sitting at the edge of a major structural shift, and the behavior of the next few hours will decide how far and how fast the next move goes. But one thing is clear. This market is preparing something big, and the chart is showing it in every wick, every bounce, and every upward press. Stay focused because XRP is signaling a breakout, and when it goes, it's going to be loud, fast, and aggressive.